Time really flies. It seems like just a while ago that I did my 100th real review featuring my favorite dinosaur, Carnotaurus. So for my 200th, it would have been nice to feature my favorite dragon, or should I say color of dragon, the Black Dragon. If I'd planned ahead, I would have saved this one for this video, but since I've already reviewed that, here's the next best thing. The very first Black Dragon I learnt of, the Dungeons & Dragons Black Dragon. Dungeons & Dragons lore has all dragons generally divided into two groups. The good dragons are all metallic dragons. The evil dragons are chromatic dragons, the colored dragons. I was astounded by all the dragon colors when I played Dungeons & Dragons many years ago, and even though red is the iconic color, I've always liked black. So out of all the chromatic dragons, red, black, blue, green and white, the Black Dragon fascinated me the most. The dragons in D&D all have a different breath weapon. For the red, it's the traditional fire. For the black, it's acid. The Black Dragon is supposed to be the cruelest of all chromatic dragons. Indeed, its visage has that skull-like evil look that goes very well with this idea. Now, as with the other D&D dragons, the morphology of the chromatic dragons has changed over the decades. And this here is the first I saw of it in this Monsters Manual. Like with the Red Dragon, the current form as we know it started to take shape with the 3rd edition, including these forward curving horns. The 4th edition is my favorite painting of a D&D Black Dragon, just as it was with the Red Dragon. Now this form is what we see in the Wizkids Icons of the realm Black Dragon. The color in general is of course black. Now all black isn't an easy color to carry off and to shoot a video on, unless there are various shades to break it up. We saw that done admirably with the Kushala Daora, and here luckily we do have some complexity. This is fortunate given that in the Red Dragon here, we saw how simply this was painted. Now if this had been done here, it would have indeed been boring and lackadaisical. Here you can see this dry brushing of a sand color, which complements the black so well, bringing out detail as you'll see later. Now this sandy color is also the base color of the more keratinous parts of the dragon, such as the horns and the claws. Now that said, let's get to the detail, starting with the head. And here the evil visage of the Black Dragon is admirably detailed. The very skull-like head, these forward curving horns, and the various spiky bits in the forehead. And along the jawline. Now this is one skeletal looking dragon, so full of texture as you can see. I especially like these overlapping corrugations in the horns here. The deep red of the eyes shine out with an almost sinister light. Here you can also see a contrasting red in the mouth and tongue. Speaking of texture, this is a surprisingly sharp model, bristling as it is with points, which I'm pleasantly surprised in a Western release, which also means that it's not for kids. In fact, some of the sharpness almost approaches the PNSO Tuojiangsaurus. Here and here. Continuing down, you'll see that tall sail, which is again a characteristic feature of black dragons, with a very nice texture here. And down the neck. The shoulders. The arms. Down here to the webbed claws, and the scaly integument, and also in the front here with these overlapping plates, which is a texture I really like to see in dragons. And here, what you might be able to see is a kind of inmixing of green, which is an unexpected layer of complexity I wasn't expecting from this line. Now this is probably a subtle nod to its habitat of swamp and marshland, so I like the effort made. Now the wings, and just like with the red dragon, I like that these wings are huge. The ratio of surface area of the wing compared to the body is the best of any dragon I own, and at least looks believable that it can provide the lift necessary for true flight. You can see this texturing with the sandy dry brushing. And if you compare to the red dragon we've seen, you'll see a real effort to create a different look and texture to the wing design. You can see that there's a slightly more leathery look to this, with this extra flange on top. And also some perforations here. Really just some general tethering, which you'd associate with the almost undead appearance of this dragon. Down here we see the rest of the animal. We have the legs, ending in these claws here. Again, you can see the green infused into the black here. And then the tail. Now just look at the texture in the tail here with these overlapping armor plates. Ending in almost a kind of barbed stinger. Again, the base is a transparent disc with an inner white circle describing the 3-inch space it will occupy on your grid map. So it's a nice feature to have for gaming purposes. And on the underside, you can see adult Black Dragon. Unfortunately, I don't have a lot of Black Dragons. In fact, surprisingly, McFarlane, who gave us 8 series of dragons, has only this one that's black, if I recall correctly. Unfortunately, I no longer have this to show you, but let's look at this figure builder monster hunter Elatreon. As is the case with all the figure builders, even at this small size, you can't help but be impressed with the detail and the paint application. Now put side by side, we see that the Dungeons & Dragons one indeed has certain features that are a lot more traditional to the game, and there's just something nice about having a real D&D dragon. Then of course, here's the Monster Hunter Creators model Kushala Daora. You'll see of course that in terms of paint application, this is a level up. But in fairness, it is at least twice the price of this one. But yet when it comes to detail, this Dungeons & Dragons Black Dragon does not fall far short. In fact, I'm very happy to have these two, because this one is of course my favorite Black Dragon, if not my favorite dragon altogether. While in this one is the Black Dragon of Dungeons & Dragons Lore, and if you love both the game and the dragon, then a model of a Dungeons & Dragons dragon must certainly belong on your shelf. And together with this iconic red dragon, I can safely say I have the two chromatic dragons I most want from the Dungeons & Dragons lore. So that's it for now. It's always nice to do a dragon review, and I might actually revisit some of my old McFarlane dragons and do them better justice in future. Till then, I'll see you soon for another video.